What is going on, everybody, and welcome back into Byerly Studios. I am so excited to give you another product review, but not just that, just a studio and just update on what I'm doing here in the studio. So as y'all know, I'm starting to get into some plein air painting. I've been building me a little plein air box. I'm building out a list of materials and things that I'm gonna put in there. I'm starting off with just watercolors, and I'm just gonna kind of do some sketches out in the field, maybe on lunch breaks and things like that. And then I'll eventually start building out to acrylics and then maybe to oils again. I want to try to do like hour-long videos on lunches and things like that, and put a timer up so I can start doing some speed painting and watercolors and things like that. Maybe just some sketches and things like that. Just something to give me something to do out in the field, out and about. So when I'm not in the studio, I can still do something, right? So I want to be able to record some of that content, whether I'm live or whether I'm recording it for later use, just to kind of post a time lapse of some of those sketches. I want to be able to produce some of that to give to you guys here on YouTube or to some of my followers on TikTok in more of a time-lapse version. So I need to be able to record that. As y'all know, if you kept up with my channel, my last review was the VIVITAR desk lamp and phone holder. It is still on my desk in the same place it was before. It has been performing phenomenally. I really don't use the little halo light that came with it, but it's still working great. It gives a good angle of me, myself, as I'm working on art here on my desk. But I'm gonna start doing some more painting, so I'll start to use my boom arms a little bit more, just to get more of a forward facing over to this corner here. There's some more things coming into this corner later, so that'll be a separate video. I have that off to the side, so exciting times. So we'll get to that later. So what I did is I went ahead and purchased 2 more devices. I'll do a review on the 3rd device later on as I start to get using it. But what we purchased is another VIVITAR product. I'm super excited about this. Now, I've recorded a portion of this video previously, and we'll get to the ins and outs of that in a minute. So what I have here is a VIVITAR wireless dual LED light selfie stick tripod. So I've already opened this one time. We'll get back into it here again in a minute. But anyways, I have a brand new one here. We're gonna go ahead and open it up and take a look at it. So what we'll do is we'll go over the box here, and then we'll open it up and see what's inside. So let's go ahead and change the camera angle and get to it. Don't judge me. I finally found it, and we're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up here. Now this is the second one of these that I've had. We'll get into that later. Try to be as most in depth as I can with these items. Alrighty. So we'll set the box off to the side there. Don't need that any longer. Alrighty. So it does come with the same little USB charging cord. It does not, as before, all of their products, I think for the most part, do not have an electrical socket connector. That's okay. We'll just have to buy a USB hub and connect that later. And that will allow those lights to charge. Alright, so straight out of the box, as we fold it out, you can see we have the 2 selfie lights right there. Now I did notice that both of these have their own individual charging ports. They're not connected by a circuitry here. So there's a charging port there, and then as you rotate. Now when I first got this, I felt iffy about this. It was so tight when I rotated this that it just felt wrong. But I finally got it, and once you start to use it, it kind of rotates pretty easily. And then it has another charging port on the other side. So you have to charge them individually and not just one battery pack, which is it's kind of a downside because you can charge one and then forget to plug in the other one, and then you would need it if it was dark outside or if you're walking around in, at dusk or something. Then you have your folding out wing arms there. I'll mention this later on, but I do wish that this had a little bit more grip to it. I do have a larger size phone, and it did not want to hold it as well as I thought it would. But it did do its job, and if I'm not moving a whole lot or being really rough with it, my phone does stay stationary. So I wish that just had a little bit more meat or grunt to it right there. Otherwise, you fold that back in, and then it folds down. So you just fold it over, then fold it back in like that, and then you can fit in your suitcase like that or in your back pocket. And then we go from there. So that extends all the way out, so you can adjust that as you need to on the tripod. And then from there, you just gently hold it right here, and then you can slide it out. So I'll use this throughout the video, so we'll use it in a practical purpose here in a little while. This right here is your remote control button for the pictures. I haven't paired that or anything, but it would just pair through your Bluetooth. You do have to buy a battery separate for that, and then you can use that. But it will only be removed when that is fully extended. So when that's extended inward or retracted there, it does not come out. Then we have the little legs here. These fold out. that there, and you can see it can kind of extends upwards. So as I increase the length of the boom arm and pull that first linkage up, and I extend the legs out, they do hold into that position right there. So when I first opened this up, these legs were broken. We're gonna get to that in a moment. But anyways, this is how they are stationary. One drawback immediately is that these are not adjustable, right? So they're pretty tight right there. With usage, they're gonna get pretty worn out, but you cannot. So if you're on uneven ground, like if I had this sitting on the ground beside the picnic table and it was uneven, I would have to adjust the angle of this camera mount here to get my camera level, right? So your leveling would come here instead of at the base. And that would also mean that the weight of the camera on top could make it a little bit tipsy or top heavy. Give and take, right? That's the only real downside that I've seen with this so far, and I'll get to why these were broken here in a moment. These were very tight the first time I used them, but otherwise they snap into place right there, just like that. So we'll get to some more of the negatives later. Overall, it's a pretty stout design. It's pretty lightweight, and I do like how it's overall how it's gonna perform for the needs that I have for this device. So let me take you outside. We're gonna walk around the woods a little bit. We're gonna extend it out, and we'll kind of see what it looks like using it out in the field. So let's get to it. This is me just outside. I'm gonna do some work around the house, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to kind of just show you the different heights in the mount, to show you kind of the angles that you can possibly get depending on what you're filming, things like that. So I have some work to do around the house today, so I'm gonna do some tilling for some new flower or garden beds in the spring. So I'm gonna go ahead and till up some dirt, get it roughed up, so that way I can tarp it and kill some of the grass over the winter before I go ahead and get ready to plant some new rose, squash, and maybe some corn, things like that in the spring. So I'm gonna kind of get some shots of that. This right now is me using the selfie stick or the mount right now at setting 0. So right now it's as close to me as it can while holding the handle. Let me go ahead and turn the camera around. I can show you what that looks like. All right, so right now I'm holding it like this, right? So what I'll do is I'm just gonna extend it out a little bit at a time until you get the full effect as far from me as the selfie stick will go. And that will kind of give you a ballpark, and that's gonna be fully zoomed out on my camera with the screen facing me. So it's gonna be the forward facing camera that I'm gonna be videoing from. So I'm gonna walk through my woods here on a path that has leaves already covering the path, but that way you can kind of get an idea how the selfie stick is going to work here. So let me go ahead and switch the camera back around and we'll get to that. All right, here we go. So I got you back on the selfie stick here. Now I'm going to videotape this in a landscape mode. So let me go ahead and extend it. So brace yourself. I'm going to extend you out to setting number 1. All right, so there's setting number 1. Now I'm going to extend my arm out a little bit further. So that's what setting number 1 looks like. I'm gonna try to angle it slightly down so you can kind of see the ground behind me. I have old pasture behind me with a cow pond right there. So that's what that is. But you can kind of see it does give you a little bit of a better view. It's farther out. I have a down tree right there, but yeah, so it's a little bit farther out. It's not too bad. Obviously, the farther out the camera goes, the more likely you would need to use some kind of like external audio, just so that way you can get some good audio. But otherwise, I think that's pretty good. That's probably what I would film majority of my, self videos at for most of my videos. But overall, I like the fact that I can see myself in the camera. It's still getting a good video of me, and it's getting a little bit of the background. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I'm gonna go ahead and extend it out to setting number 2. Hold on. All right, so this is now option number 2 here. A little bit farther out. You can see you're getting farther and farther away from me. Now this is that full zoom out. So my camera zooms all the way out. And this is what it looks like so far. I think I'm liking that. There's some branches I'm trying to avoid running into those as I walk, because I haven't been on the path in a while. But that's pretty good, right? Now you can also tilt and angle the actual mount that the camera is on also. but that's not too bad. You're really getting a farther out zoom. If I extend my arm all the way out, you can really see it does zoom out quite a bit. Let's go ahead and take it to the setting number 3. Oh, too far. All right, that's setting number 3. So this is the third arm extended out. I'm extending my arm all the way out. Now I do have to angle it up slightly just because the camera angle is slightly down. So if I bring the pivoting hinge down a little bit, that's where I am now. So you really start to shrink in the camera view there. So that looks pretty cool. I like that. I'm hoping that the audio is turning out okay here. You can really start to see more of the background. It looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and extend to number 4. All right, number 4. Now obviously the farther out you go, the harder it is to videotape yourself. But I could easily, some branches there, I could easily go ahead and videotape myself on the trail here as I walk through the woods. But I can kind of pivot, do some turning, show something in the background. You know, if I'm videotaping myself doing art, it'd be able to be a cool option to have just a further out zoom of what I'm working on. But you know, this is something that would be a trial and error type of thing. Let's go ahead and extend to 4, or no, I'm sorry, 5. 5. Lost track between 4 and 5. All right, this is 4. I'm sorry, 5. Getting farther out there. I really am liking this arm, guys. For $20, it's hard to beat this. Now I'm not using any kind of lights or anything like that. I don't have any batteries in it, or I don't have it charged right now, so it's looking pretty good. Let me go ahead and extend you all the way out, and then we'll walk the rest of the trail in a little time lapse here. So this is a number 6. Number 6 all the way out, fully extended. Now I do feel a little bounce in the camera though, so you can feel a little bit of shaking there, see? So if I don't hold it completely steady, it does shake. So I would have to use like a stabilization in my video editing, but that's okay. So what we'll do is we're gonna walk a little bit. I'm gonna let it bounce as it is at fully extended. That's just gonna happen with a lot of selfie sticks and you know, boom extenders. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and walk the trail for a few like a minute or two, and then what we'll do is I will stabilize the rest of the video so that you can kind of see what the video would look like if it were stabilized with the extension all the way out. So let's go ahead and walk all the way out here. So leaves are all over my path. Let's remember where the path is here. So I'm not going to go out of my way to bounce anything, but I am going to avoid some branches here because I haven't trimmed any of these branches in a while. And we'll kind of extend my arm all the way out. Now just remember, I can reach up and I can kind of extend this down a little bit and bring the camera hinge down at the top of the arm. So you can get shots of like me walking in past stuff. I really need to get out here and clear some of these trails that I have. So I'm hoping I'm not making, I'm way off my path. I'm way off the path here. So I'm hoping I'm not making the camera bounce more than it would have naturally. I have a big down tree here. I'm gonna show you that real quick. The big old tree fell during the tropical storm that rolled through, or the remnants of it. So you can kind of see I'm able to kind of extend the camera out. I'm able to get like a higher view of the area. And I can bring it down again. Take some pictures if I wanted to. And I can bring you back in on me. So obviously the front-facing camera would be a better view, probably get a better clarity than the facing camera. But I think it's pretty good overall. You can really rotate around. Again, this is fully extended. I'm trying to keep my arm as steady as possible. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna walk like I normally would here, instead of focusing on the camera. I'm not used to using a selfie stick, which is kind of new. I feel like a little bit of a goober while I'm doing this, but it's just kind of cool. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stabilize from here forward, okay? So I'm gonna reset. Okay, so we're reset. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and straighten out my camera because it actually moved. I do wish the clamp was a little bit tighter, but otherwise you'd probably have trouble getting your camera in there because as I was walking, the landscape view shifted slightly. It's gonna happen, I know it. Probably have to, you know, move it back and forth like this in the camera mount. I wish that had a little bit more of a grippy texture to it so it did not shift. Or maybe that the prongs, I'll put a picture of that top right hand corner, the little prongs that hold your camera were slightly wider and had some teeth, rubber teeth on them, instead of just they're just like some flat with some dotted material on it that kind of grip it barely. A lot of the phone cases are smooth, so I do wish it kept it from shifting so much, but overall I'm pretty satisfied. So at this point we're going to move forward. Stabilization now. Walk around some of these branches here. Got some dead trees I got to cut down at some point. I used to have it where I could run my lawnmower back here and you know, with the deck all the way up, and I can bring dead wood out of the woods and stuff like that and burn it and get rid of it, kind of just clean up the ground of the woods, kind of keep things neat and tidy. We got a bunch of deer that walk through here, a few herds. Once in a while we'll come outside in the mornings and then there'll be a herd of deer just in the yard, so it's very nice. Digging it, you guys. It's looking very good. All right, so now that was stabilized. I think it's a lot smoother with the stabilization. Obviously, sometimes with stabilization, when it changes the shutter speed in cameras and tries to define the edges of a video so it doesn't move as much, lighting can cause a problem. I know not too long ago I did a video of the haunted house for my in-laws. If you haven't had the opportunity to check that out on my YouTube, go check it out. It's probably about 7 minutes, but it's very fun. But you can see where the strobe lights were really affecting it because it changed the shutter speed, and the strobe really messed with it. So that's just a thought to have when you're kind of changing things around in the video format. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. I'm gonna turn you around forward facing, and we're gonna go ahead and show you just what it would look like if I were holding it all the way out. So what it will do is this is fully extended, and then here in a minute we'll stop, and then I'll bring it all the way in, and I'll hold it right up against, you know, at that 0 setting, so that you can see what it looked like if I was just holding it like normal, really close to the body. All right, here we go. Ready? I'm gonna flip you around. All right, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and walk. Put it really high up in the air. Get an aerial view. And I can bring it down again. All right, I'm gonna bring you all the way in now, back to 0 setting. Now I'm not using stabilization on this, okay? So no stabilization except that one segment. And then I'm gonna get back on my path here. A lot smoother. If I go out of my way to hold the arm steady, then it does run pretty smoothly. I know that there are some more expensive options that stay stable, but this is not that, right? If it's on the budget, it's $20 well spent, I think. There you go. And angle it right there like that. All right, here we go. Ready? And go. That was without stabilization. I'm going to use stabilization now. Alright, so while we jump into this time lapse of me just cutting down some tall grass to cut in some new rows for the garden, I just wanted to say that the camera is on the tripod at fully extended, and I did have a mishap here. One of the legs of the tripod actually broke, and although it's fully extended and I have it propped up and it's working right now just to get a time lapse of what it looks like, there is a problem, and I'm about to show you what it is. Alright, so we're back in the studio now. So as you can see outside, we had some pros and cons. I showed you what it kind of looked like extended all the way up. I haven't used this painting yet. It's been kind of rainy this week, so when the first time that I do use the painting, I will kind of link that video in the description below, so you can just see how it is when it's sitting on a picnic table beside me, for instance. But it'll be the same concept as it were when I was out there weed eating in the time lapse. So you would just use it at the lowest setting that you need and just angle it down, depending on whether I'm streaming on TikTok or YouTube. Again, you know, I'm gonna start leaning towards YouTube soon, so I can get the portrait and the 4K content going. So it's gonna be nice. So fully extended, it's pretty stout, right? It's gonna work pretty well. The only downside is, like I said, you have to charge them individually. I probably won't use that feature very often though, you know, because I'll probably rely on the phone flash for that if I want to turn the phone around. This right here is very tight. Just remember that when you're using it, don't be afraid you're gonna break that, because that first bend when you buy it, mine was very tight the first time. As you saw just in the video previously to this, these were broken. They don't extend up very far, but it's okay. You just have to, like, again, use this to level it. So you're up and down the vertical angle, and then you can twist this for rotation to change your horizon, right? It has 3 of those screws on the bottom. As showed in the previous video, those were stripped, and even though that I tried to fix those with the aftermarket screws, it just didn't work out. And that's okay, it's all right. I took it back and I returned it, got my money back. The Walmart that I purchased that didn't have any more, so I had to wait about a week or so, and I bought another one. I liked it. I bought another one. I was able to get it for $4 cheaper, so cool. So it was $19.88 at full price, and I got it for like $14 or so. Well worth the money. So there it is, fully extended right there. I do like that I can put it in my backpack when I start to design a backpack for painting on the go, maybe trails, things like that. One other thing that I will notice, if you are seeing this on the ground, these legs have little ridges and pieces right here. You can see them in the light. They're designed that way so they snap together. Heard it? Okay, so they snap together, but they also take dirt and mud. So I have a lot of red mud or red dirt around the house. So just remember that if you're sitting that in the ground, and when you pick it up again, you clamp those together, there could be dirt in there. So you're putting that in your backpack maybe. I wish that these were kind of sealed. I wish this up here is what snapped, and then I wish these were sealed rubber groove toes maybe. Something that could be more easily just wiped off. But as you can see, it works pretty good, right? I like it overall. I still have yet to use the little Bluetooth device for the pictures or charge the lights. Like I said, that's not really what I bought this for. I bought it to have as just a tabletop tripod for camera usage when I'm painting and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It's kind of a long review, but I just want to be as thorough as I could for you guys. Again, so we did an unboxing. You got the little USB charger in it. You got the selfie stick. Just be gentle when you're rotating it, as well as these only extend out so far. And then it's just the pressure of those 3 screws that are holding that plate in place and holding the legs onto the actual main housing. The little remote control will only be removable when it's fully extended. Otherwise, when it's retracted, it's stationary. You don't have to worry about it moving, but you can still click it. And then it's probably about, I'd say about 5 or 6 inches tall in total, so it'll fit in your backpack. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I hope y'all enjoyed walking through the woods a little bit, seeing what it would look like at fully extension. Again, at fully extended, my audio on my phone started to cut out a little bit, and it was just faded. So you'd want to use your Bluetooth or some third-party sound system so you can get the sound that you need for better quality videos. So I'll definitely be using these when I'm out there gardening or things like that. So I hope this wasn't too long-winded, but I just want to be as thorough as I could for you and give you my review of it. I would give this overall probably about 8 out of 10. Again, there's only a few things that I would change about it, but as long as I'm not too rough with the legs, I don't have to worry about them breaking. And as long as I just remember that there could be mud caked in there, it's going to be a great performing product. I'm excited to be able to use this and add it to my picnic table, watercolor, or acrylic plein air painting box. Thanks for all you do, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next review. Later, guys.